वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा।
Good morning, everyone present here. On behalf of PIS Gandhinagar, I, Ashratha, the Vice Communication Captain of PIS Student Council, welcome you all. It's a beautiful morning. The air is ripe with expectation, excitement, and a sense of celebration. Let us put our hands together to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Ravindra Kumar Singh, who has already arrived. Before we proceed, I request all to rise for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल गायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Esteemed guests and our very beloved parents, let's all get ready for an auspicious beginning by lighting the holy lamp of knowledge. I request our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Ravindra Kumar Singh, to light the lamp. Mrs. Suman Goswami will accompany our Chief Guest.
सर्वशक्तिमान से करुणा निधान से आशीष हमको ये मिले होकर निडर सत्य की राह पर हम चले अज्ञान का नाश हो ज्ञान का विकास हो चेतना का दीप हर क्षण जले
झूले अंबर की सीमा और सागर की गहराई सूरज सा तेज मिले बन तेरी ही हम परछाई
प्रभु हम एक हो एक हो प्रेरणा और विवेक दो होकर एक चित्त एक ध्यान विश्व का हम करें कल्याण हमें आलोक दो भक्ति दो विनय और मन की शक्ति दो मन की शक्ति दो मन की शक्ति दो
Wish you all the best. Make all of us proud. Make this school proud.
Captain of PIS Student Council, Ms. Niharika Waghela, to deliver a welcome address.
The whole life is nothing more than a refinement of everyday thinking. Respected Chief Guest Ravindra Kumar Singh, other esteemed guests, and our beloved parents, I, Niharika Waghela, the school vice captain of the 5th Students' Council, welcome you on the joyous occasion of 5th Annual Day of Podar International School, Gandhinagar. On behalf of my fellow students and teachers, I extend a cheerful greeting to everybody present over here. I feel very happy and proud that today you are going to witness hard work and talents of our very young students under the able guidance of our teachers and our mentor, our principal ma'am. I request you all to keep them motivated with a frequent round of applause. As a conclusion, I once again welcome you, and I am confident that the next couple of hours you will enjoy a mesmerizing show. Thank you.
Thank you, Niharika. Now, I invite our principal, Mrs. Madhumita Bhattacharya, for the next segment.
Good morning, everyone here. It's wonderful to see you all here, and I must thank you for your lovely presence. At the outset, I would like to thank the management of GNLU for allowing us to present our annual cultural program on this prestigious platform. It could be a very long association. Our kids are still, budding. We may not know how many of them will actually land up here in this university. That's the dream we have in our eyes, that they should really go a long way and fly high. I thank our chief guest, Dr. Ravindra Kumar Singh, for giving his precious time to be with us. I have interacted with him from time to time, and let me tell you, there is always something to learn, the way he interacts, the way he leads his own professional career, and getting associated with such luminaries will help us to refine our own ways to deal with children. And that is exactly the idea that we are going to launch today on this platform. What I believe, it is not important to know what is happening in the field of education, what is happening in your kids' school, what your child is doing. It is not the very important thing. Yes, we need to know what the child is studying, what exactly is happening in his life. More important than that I have discovered as an educationist, as a parent, as a child which still is very alive inside me. The most important thing is to understand what is education. And I'll share my discoveries with you today. And when I do that, it's going to be a launch session of pep talk. You must have heard of TED Talks. Have you? So pep talk is the talk series we are going to launch from the platform of Podar, which means Podar Education Perspective Talks. We are going to invite speakers who could be our parents, who could be our students, senior students who are our alumni. They could be people in different walks of life, teachers, our own team members, coming and sharing their thoughts with us about what they actually think education is. And it is not something which is a very copybook things, not something which is, read from a book, or it is kind of quoting someone. Education should be a discovery that you make on your own. I'll share with you today, because this is the first talk that I'm going to deliver on this platform, and later on we are going to record such talks, and we are going to have a YouTube channel dedicated to pep talk. And we will come back to you from time to time in case you want to come and be part of this entire project. So today, in this pep talk, I'm going to share with you my discovery of what education is. I discovered in the 24 years that I have spent working with children, education is certainly not schooling. It is not examinations, it is not textbooks, it is the entire life. Education starts from the day the child is in the womb of the mother. And if I simplify the word education, because it sounds very heavy, If I simplify the whole thing, it means learning. So, I dream that our children, yes, they will become something or the other in their life if we look about their professional accomplishments or their, the way they get established in life. But for me, the real meaning of education is that our kids should become learners, happy learners, enthusiastic learners, and lifelong learners. We are the generation sitting over here. We will agree that when we were kids, at the age of 4 or 5, did we have computers? We did not have so much of exposure. Mobile phones were not there. So our education did not equip us with all these facilities with which today's world is there. We learned it along the way. Some of us learned a lot of things while we were working into our professions. So we do not know when our kids come to this stage of their life, what new things will come up. So education is only the ability to unlearn, relearn, and continue learning. Certain learnings you will have to drop them and freshly learn new things. And a true learner is a truly educated person. Education, according to me, can happen anywhere. Can you tell me a place where you don't require to breathe? Do we have such a place available? जहाँ सांस लेने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती? Well, education is just like breathing. Learning is just like breathing. The way you require to breathe to be alive, you require to learn to be alive. Learning can happen anywhere. It can happen, we think that it happens in school. Yes, it does happen in school, but it happens everywhere. They could be learning on streets, they could be learning at home. In fact, the research shows they also learn while they sleep. That is called subconscious and superconscious learning, and that's actually the greater part of the learning. So, if kids are learning everywhere, their teachers are not the only ones who are there employed in school. Their teachers are all of us. Kids are watching us, kids are listening to us, and they are actually imitating us the way we deal. So, let us all be very careful that we are all responsible for learning and education of our children. Whatever we will do, whatever we will say, the way we will deal with our lives, our children will take in, soak in, and let me tell you, they are great learners. Today's show, I was just talking with Dr. Singh a few minutes back, and I was telling, on 15th of November, we started with our practice with children, and an extended classroom learning started with that. In this journey till today, lot of learning has happened for kids, for us, for the entire support team, because whatever we did became part of our experience. This particular show, which comes to you as a show, it has come to us as great learning. And I must appreciate and thank our alumni, Podar student, for this particular show. One of our students who has now moved to the university life, she has come forward and she has given her voice to the anchoring, to the initial anchoring that you will be listening to. She is one of the Podar students. We bring back our students, we request them that they come and they also stand up in front of the junior students to show what Podar is going to create ultimately when the students pass out from 12th standard. Already Podarites in Gandhinagar are having lot of achievements. This year, it has been a great year for us, especially in the area of sports, where we have played state and we have played nationals and we have won silver and gold and bronze medals in so many of these sports that our children have participated in. Thank you so much. Your blessings will count a lot, and I seek your blessings today when our children are going to be here on stage. And I wish I could hug all my children at this moment just to let them know that they can trust us, all of us, that we will become great role models for them. Thank you.
Ma'am, I will now request our primary coordinator, Rupal Waghela ma'am, to introduce the chief guest.
Good morning all. It is an honor to present before you our honorable chief guest, Dr. Ravindra Kumar Singh. Dr. Singh is currently the Dean and Associate Professor of Law at Gujarat National Law University. He did his BA, LLB and LLM from the University of Allahabad and PhD from Gujarat University. He was conferred upon with the Excellent Faculty Award by Gujarat National Law University for the year 2009-10. He is the author of a book titled Law Relating to Electronic Contracts, published by LexisNexis. Besides, he has published research papers and articles on a range of subjects, particularly legal education, constitutional law, and contract law. In the year 2016, he was selected for deputation as ICCR Rotating Chair, Visiting Professor of Indian Studies at Leibniz University of Hanover, Germany for a period of 1 semester, that is from 10th October 2016 to 31st March 2017. In the year 2013, under DAAD, German Academic Exchange Service, he delivered lectures at the Faculty of Law, University of Cologne, Germany. As a resource person, Dr. Singh has delivered lectures on various topics at different institutes of repute. He was the project convener of a project titled Effectiveness of Government Measures for the Reduction of Court Cases, which was awarded to GNLU by the Legal Department, Gujarat Government. He was also the project convener of Swarnim Gujarat project on speedy disposal of backlog of cases, an initiative of GNLU. It is my pleasure to invite our esteemed chief guest on stage to address the gathering.
A very warm and good morning to one and all present in this auditorium. Esteemed General Manager, Mrs. Hapliyal, esteemed Principal of Podar International School, Gandhinagar, Mrs. Madhumita Bhattacharya, learned teachers of PIS Gandhinagar, distinguished guests, learned faculty members of GNLU, and very dear students. It is indeed both a pleasure and an honor for me to address you on the occasion of 5th annual day function of PIS Gandhinagar. Today is a very special day for the teachers, parents, and students. It's a proud day, full of emotions, full of enthusiasm, because it is the day that we are going to celebrate our annual day function of PIS Gandhinagar. The principal, Madam Bhattacharya, has already outlined the importance of education and what education actually means and what is the true, what is the real learning. And therefore there is no need to reiterate the importance of education, but a few words about the history of PIS is very important. Most of the parents sitting in this auditorium must be aware of, but still it is worthwhile to mention. It is the third largest education network in the country. And if we speak of the history dates back to 1927, when this Podar Podar Education Trust was established. And the president of this Anandilal Trust, what it is called, was none other than the most outstanding personalities, the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. That is the history of this school. And I'm quite sure the way this network has today become the third largest, very soon it will become the largest in the country. It has 110 schools across 8 states in the country. About PIS Gandhinagar, it was founded in the year 2014, and I must take this opportunity to congratulate the entire management of PIS Gandhinagar, headed by the able principal, Mrs. Madhumita Bhattacharya, that in 5 years, the kind of achievement this school has made, that is amazing. It is nothing less than amazing, and I'm quite sure that it will keep reaching newer heights in the field of school education. I must thank, on behalf of this university, that is Gujarat National Law University, to the management of PIS Gandhinagar for having chosen our university for holding their annual day function. And I must tell you, madam, that this is just a beginning. Our association is going to be everlasting in nature, because as educators, we all share the same mission. We carry forward the mission of shaping the future of the country, making the future of the country from at different stages. However, we are one and the same, and a joint effort is required to shape the future of this country. It's always good to be with children, with kids, and I consider the organization of this annual day function at our university as bringing lot of cheers. You have brought actually lot of cheers, an ocean of happiness and unlimited emotions, unlimited innocence, because as I was discussing with both of you a few minutes back, that the innocence children can give us, nobody can provide that. And innocence is very important, because today we are in the IT era. In fact, the most important thing which is required in the IT era is to hold the emotion, to have the innocence, because innocence is an indicator of purity. If we do not have innocence, mind well, we cannot have purity. And we can be a developed nation, but we have to be a great nation. So, children who are actually the future of this country, the great onus lies on all of us. We owe a huge duty towards the country, and we can discharge this great duty by nurturing the children very well. Many of the students must have visited this university for the first time. You all must have watched in movies, in television serials, judges delivering judgments, lawyers arguing the court of law. Dear children, do you know where are the judges made? Do you know which place creates the lawyers? Lawyers and judges are made in a university like this. And therefore, those of you who aspire to be, besides a very good human being, besides a very good citizen of this great nation, an able judge, a great lawyer, after passing class 12, you'll have to take admission in some law university or some faculty of law or law college. Those of you who aspire to pursue legal education, NLUs are the best place. And I am quite sure that from the very first batch of PIS Gandhinagar, we are going to receive a few students pursuing their integrated law program at our university. And the process will continue. And we also assure on behalf of the university that whatever cooperation PIS Gandhinagar requires from us, we are always there to render. We are always there to support the cause of education, because we, as sometime back I said, we share the same mission. We have a common mission. So let us accomplish that jointly and with concerted efforts. I understand that today we are going to witness mesmerizing performances by our children. So we should not be taking too much time from the time allotted to them for their performances. Let us enjoy their performances and the kind of enthusiasm they bring, the kind of energy they put in, and the kind of spirit they display. We have, as parents, as guardians, as teachers, as elderly people, a lot to learn from them. And to parents, I must say that we have to allow our children to grow. We have to allow our children to dream high. Because as Roosevelt said, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Unless we dream, we cannot actually achieve that. So we have to let our children dream, and dream very high, dream very deep, because it is every dream which precedes the goal. With these kind words, I once again thank PIS Gandhinagar for having selected, for having chosen GNLU for holding annual day function. And as I said, our association will continue. It is just a beginning. With these kind words, thank you very much. Thank you all the parents. Thank you all the distinguished guests for coming to our university. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your words of inspiration. Everyone here, please hold your breath and be ready to constantly put your hands together, as our lovely, dynamic and talented Podarites are going to transport you to a magical world of colors, rhythm and music. Time to unveil our theme.
It was prosperous and peaceful. One day in his court, the king asked his courtiers, "Who is the most important person in this kingdom?" The king expected all to answer that he, the king, was the most important. Most of the courtiers even said so. But there was an old courtier known for his wisdom. He said, "Pardon me, your mighty king. Music fairy who lives in our kingdom is the most important one in our kingdom." The king was not only shocked at the answer, he was very angry too. As a result, he banished the music fairy from his kingdom. A few days later, the king went around his kingdom. He was surprised that his entire kingdom looked very colorless and dull. Children were silent. Birds did not chirp. Nobody looked happy. There were no festivities, no celebrations. Temples had no prayers. People could not express their emotions. They were bitter, sad, and violent. In fact, they had lost all desire to live. The king was very concerned. He asked his wisest old courtier the reason for this. The old man said, "Oh, mighty king, you sent the music fairy out of your kingdom Now see the result? The king could not believe this. He never before imagined that the music fairy could be so important. But he had to do something for his people. He asked, "Now tell me, how do I bring the music fairy back? If her coming back will make my people happy, I am ready to do anything." The wise man said, "You will have to travel to the kingdom of symphony. It has got 7 gates, and at each gate you will have to meet a messenger. At the 7th gate, you will be able to meet the music fairy." The king at once started on his journey to the kingdom of symphony. Let us all travel with him, shall we?
It's part of all of our lives. How did that make you feel? Maybe take you back to childhood, where you hadn't thought of in a while? Maybe made you want to get up out of your chair and gallop around the stage, right? So, have you ever thought to think, why? Why does music do all these things for us? And in particular, what's going on in our brain when we make or listen to music? Well, it turns out a lot is going on in our brains. This picture here is a brain scan of a musician, a pianist, improvising. It's from the work of Charles Limb. And the red and blue show areas of activation and deactivation during this musical performance. What I want you to see is just how much of the brain is touched by music. Because of this, scientists like myself really feel that we can use music as a great tool to help us understand the brain, but also to change it. Many people have wondered, well, does music do good things for the brain? Is it good exercise for the brain, particularly for kids? Well, there's a lot of research, growing research, showing that music can improve math skills, reading, even school attendance, confidence.
सुनो बच्चों उठाओ बस्ता वो देखो स्कूल का है आगे रास्ता जो लिखता है और जो है पढ़ता वही बच्चा तो है आगे बढ़ता चमक चमक के तारे कैसा है तू प्यारे दुनिया में तू चमके कैसे चमके तारे मैं पढ़ूंगा बनूंगा बड़ा आदमी मैं लिखूंगा तो देखेगी दुनिया सभी मेरे टीचर भी मुझसे तो खुश हैं बहुत मेरी कॉपी तो देखो सितारों से भरी किया है वादा ये मैंने सच्चा बनूंगा लाइक बनूंगा अच्छा सुनो बच्चों उठाओ बस्ता वो देखो स्कूल का है आगे रास्ता सबके सहारे सबकी आंखों के तारे तेरे ही दम से दुनिया रोशन है प्यारे तू मेरा जीवन तू मेरा कल है प्यारे अब तो खेलेंगे कूदेंगे गाएंगे हम साथ में मौज मस्ती मनाएंगे हमने पढ़ जो लिया है काम पूरा किया है अम्मी बाबा को खुश कर दिया है बाजीबा किया है वादा ये मैंने सच्चा बनूंगा लाइक बनूंगा अच्छा सुनो बच्चों उठाओ बस्ता वो देखो स्कूल का है आगे रास्ता अलग से अच्छा वैसे बच्चा वैसे प्यारा लगता है अच्छा बच्चा प्यारा लगता है
अच्छा बच्चा क्या करता है
अच्छा बच्चा पढ़ता लिखता है अब चलेगा तुम्हारा बहाना नहीं ऐसा मुश्किल भी कोई ये गाना नहीं याद कर लो अभी इसे गा दो सभी तो पढ़ना और लिखना ही होगी जिंदगी किया है वादा ये मैंने सच्चा बनूंगी लाइक करूंगी अच्छा सुनो बच्चों उठाओ बस्ता वो देखो स्कूल का है आगे रास्ता जो लिखता है और जो है पढ़ता वही बच्चा तो है आगे बढ़ता सुनो बच्चों उठाओ बस्ता वो देखो स्कूल का लगा मुझे था यकीन, सदके में चाहे लग जाए उसको सारी उम्र भी मेरी, होगा मुझे गम नहीं, होगा मुझे गम नहीं। अफसर के जैसा ऐठा मोटर गाड़ी में बैठा, आएगा मेरा सिपहिया सजन रेडियो, बजाइयो 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 जरा सजन रेडियो, बजाई के सभी को मचाइयो जरा सजन रेडियो, बजाइयो 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 जरा। ओ काका ओ मौसी ओ साइकिल वाले भैया, बटन के बाल बना के जूता पॉलिश करवा के नाचेंगे हम ताता खैया सजन रेडियो, बजाइयो 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 जरा सजन रेडियो, बजाई के सभी को बजाइयो जरा सजन रेडियो, बजाइयो 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 जरा।
What if a large number of scientific studies had found that there was one activity that could improve our cognitive function, help our memory systems to work, help us to learn language, help us to moderate our emotional states, help us to solve complex problems, and help our brains to be healthier into later life? What if that activity, while beneficial if undertaken at any time during our lives, was actually found by the scientists to be most beneficial if it was undertaken before the age of 7? What if that activity, unlike the momentary pain of a vaccination needle, is actually enjoyable for everyone involved? Now, you might be expecting me to reveal a new superfood we could eat some more of. Maybe a pill we could take every day, or an exercise regime we could start. But actually, this activity is as old as our cultures and societies itself. And that activity is music education.
छोटी छोटी चिड़िया, छोटी छोटी चिड़िया, तुम्हें इतना सुंदर किसने बनाया? उड़ते उड़ते आती हो, नाचते गाते आती हो, मेरे भी साथ खेलना। छोटी छोटी चिड़िया, छोटी छोटी चिड़िया, तुम्हें इतना सुंदर किसने बनाया? उड़ते उड़ते आती हो, नाचते गाते आती हो, मेरे भी साथ खेलना। एक बात जानते नहीं, हमारे ऊपर एक प्रभु है। एक बात जानते नहीं, हमारे ऊपर एक प्रभु है। अन्न भी वो देता है, वस्त्र भी वो देता है। अन्न भी वो देता है, वस्त्र भी वो देता है। संसार
process which starts with an idea which comes from the imagination, the musical imagination. And when the musical imagination is ignited in a group circumstance, we have the most extraordinary power to change lives with music and to involve people in music. And it should start with very, very, very young children, not teenagers. Not that it's you can't start. I've taught teenagers who have had their first experience with music as teenagers. But my view is that all of that improvisation, all of that creativity you saw on the stage today is the right of every child, no matter where and no matter what the circumstance. Every child, I believe, should have access to properly taught music in the hands of a properly taught teacher. And it can start in the simplest way. Music is an oral art. And when I talk about music, I define it as sound organized in some way, passing through time. With children, we begin with imitation, the most powerful way of teaching.
You're my pumpkin, pumpkin, hello honey bunny. I'm your dumpling, dumpling, hello honey bunny. Feeling something, something, hello honey bunny, toko toko. You're my pumpkin, pumpkin. Hello, honey bunny. I'm your dumpling, dumpling. Hello, honey bunny. Feeling something, something. Hello, honey bunny, toko, toko. How many times Lady Love had given me missed calls? What to tell you, lazy left no battery at all. Idhar udhar heart bouncing like a ping pong ball, 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 ball. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, honey bunny. Feeling something, something. Hello, honey bunny. You're my pumpkin, pumpkin. Hello, honey bunny, toko, toko. Such a stupid fellow, that is what I thought. Making people fall in love, no other word for what. Got to know him better when you entered the plot. Thanks to his idea, you're my honey bunny. I'm your pumpkin pia, you're my honey bunny. Bole drink, drink, jia, you're my honey bunny, toko, toko.
Can detect the beat in music. If I ask my students, my wonderful music students, what is the beat, define it and describe it, I get these big blank stares. They're rendered speechless. They don't know how to describe it. And they end up saying something like, we just know it, which is true. And now science informs us because children are brought into this world with that capacity to detect the beat, when the next one will fall. And if you've seen YouTube videos of babies moving to music at about 6 months old and older, it is so much fun to see that. It's joyous. And yet that's the first time they can actually organize their bodies to demonstrate what their brains have already known.
होठों में बांधे प्रेम की पुड़िया नाव से खोले नामों से बोले पलकों पे रख के आंखों से तोले नाव से खोले नामों से बोले पलकों पे रख के आंखों से तोले सुनिया 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 मिस्री से मीठी आंखों में बंद है बात रसी हाँ नाव ने खोले नामों से बोले पलकों पे रख के आंखों से तोले नाव ने खोले नामों से बोले पलकों पे रख के आंखों से तोले झूम चमेली झांझर वाली झूम चमेली झांझर वाली
पर्वत हटा दूं, घटाओं में कहीं छुपना है तो सावन बुला दूं।
महुआ महुआ महका 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 महुआ
When students have music in school, their brain stems are more robust. And when rhythm is introduced, it is true, they do a bit better in school, and their rhythms in their lives are accompanied by the rhythms in the music. And this is not a brand new idea. As early as post-World War II, nurses noticed that veterans were faster to get up on their feet and get better when big band music was playing. And no wonder. Music does not just exercise one part of our brain. It kind of lights up all of our brain. There's not one area of our brain that we could say, this area is the music area of our brain. The way we could say this is the speech area of our brain. Music lights up all of our brains. And it's really, really good for us. Music is the original human tool to help soothe our soul. Did you know music has been in every single culture throughout history? Every single one. They found, early modern man, they found a bone flute that was carved in the same pentatonic scale that we use today. We're talking Ice Age, when your main concern should probably be, don't get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. But they were playing music. And they say, evolutionary-wise, something that exists in all these cultures and across all people, something that universal must help humans survive. So what is it about music that helps us survive? There's a lot of theories, because music does a lot of really cool stuff for us, like it enhances learning, it improves your memory, it helps with insomnia. I could go on for a while because music lights up all different parts of your brain. But I really want to focus on one new line of study that says, from the beginning of human culture, music has developed separately from language to help us deal with life.
Love you, zindagi.